Hey, what's up guys? My name's Brittany.
And I'm Dani.
And today we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons of nomadic minimalist living.
So Brittany and I have both been living nomadically and minimalistically for about 5 years, approximately, give or take a little bit. And I lived as a nomad for about 10 years before that, but I was not a minimalist at that point.
And we do it similarly in some ways and different in some ways. We both travel full-time.
Yeah.
And live out of pretty small things. So I'm living out of my Tom Bin backpack right now, which is a 19-liter. And you were living out of that for a while.
Yeah, I was living out of, well, I had a little bit for a while. It depends where I am and what I'm doing, because I've got some sporting gear and stuff that travels with me, but pretty much at most I can fit into a suitcase and a backpack, so. Let's start with the pros.
Freedom.
I love freedom, the diversity, the freedom to explore and meet people and do whatever you want on a whim, because you don't have a lot of stuff, you don't have a home base, so someone says, hey, you want to do this? Like, sure, okay, I'm gonna go do it.
For sure, the adventure of it is definitely something that I always wanted to experience.
Yeah, and the flexibility of all of that, because it's just really easy to change your plans on the spot or to just make up something new to do.
I love always having everything with me too, so I feel like I don't have to like check into my hotel, put my stuff down, etc.
Yep. And I'm always prepared for whatever activity I'm gonna do, which I love, because when you have everything with you, it's like, oh, you need to go to the beach, great. I don't need to go back and get my bathing suit because I have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like because living this way is our norm, it's become so comfortable and it feels like home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's also really easy to take any space that I'm staying in and make it feel like home with just a couple things, like maybe unpack my toiletries or put my travel pillow on the bed, and then I feel home.
For sure. I've also noticed that over time I've just found more of like home and comfort and safety within myself.
Yeah.
And the confidence that I can establish that space anywhere.
Yes, I think that's absolutely, because also I feel equally comfortable when I settle in for a long plane ride in my seat, because I've got everything I need is under the seat in front of me. So I don't have to worry about getting up or that I might have checked something that I need with me. It's just always with me, which is really great.
That reminds me of adaptability, which I think is another big pro.
Yep.
And something I've learned from being in so many different environments.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's really easy to adapt into the environments, adapt to the different people that you're going to be around, the different situations you're in, and it's not jarring, and it doesn't catch me off guard. Like, I just feel like I can just easily kind of flow into whatever situation I'm in.
Yeah, and going off of that, I think about like rolling with the punches, because that's just a fun saying.
Yeah. Rolling with the homies. Oh, clueless.
Because sometimes things, actually very frequently, when you travel all the time, things do tend to change. Like, it's very common that a flight will be delayed or plans just change.
Yeah. And rather than get upset about it or worked up about it, because it's our life and because we're constantly traveling, that kind of stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
And we just make the best of it and go do something else, or say like, oh, hey, great, I've got this downtime, I wanted to read this book, or like whatever the heck it is you want to do.
Yeah, I feel like we are always prepared for those kind of things. We always do have a book. We always have everything we need with us, so it's easy to go with it.
Oh, another big thing is like the worldly education we get. When you're meeting people all of the time and you're out traveling, I mean, you're seeing different places, you're seeing different things, you're learning about different cultures. Because we are so minimalist and we don't travel with a lot of stuff with us, we're constantly going out and seeking different things to do, or people to be with, or like events we can go to, and it's really nice to be able to like interact in all of those types of ways and learn more about it in that way.
I feel that way, and I think that was one of the biggest things that drew me to travel so much, because I wanted to experience different types of living and different types of people around the world. And ultimately, I think it's helped me develop a lot more loving compassion and understanding for people who live all types of lives.
Yeah, I think that's really true. And along with that is like a lot of times for me when I'm not traveling for work is I stay with like friends and family. And when I'm staying with friends and family, I'm usually staying in their home, and I kind of adapt into their family life. And two really great things about that is that it's like Brittany was just saying, like you really get to see how other people live and be a part of that. But another really great aspect of it is that you get to spend more quality time with them. In a lot of ways, you become way closer because you don't have to make a plan to go have dinner. It's like, oh, you're making dinner together, or you're cleaning up, or you're running errands. But you get to be together, and you get to talking while you're doing stuff. And I just feel like the quality of relationships that come out of that are just so strong and so amazing.
That reminds me of this other perk, this other pro that I feel, which is like leaving my hometown in general.
Yeah.
I know that I felt like I did have patterns and relationships with people that weren't necessarily ones I was intentionally choosing, or like places I was intentionally deciding to go.
Yeah, it's just like habits or just what everyone else has been doing. And we have a really, really awesome hometown. Like we have a great place to go home to. Lots of people go there, as a tourist destination, but I also appreciate it like 1,000 times more since I've started traveling. And I love going back now, and I look forward to it. And when I run into people that haven't left, that just want to get out, it's like a whole different experience of how we see our home now.
And I got so used to maybe one way of living, and it felt like jarring to change things. And I love that about always moving. It's like you're always changing.
Yeah, I like to say sometimes that like the only constant in my life is change, which I love. One thing we didn't hit on is the making friends really easily. Yeah, part of traveling a lot and being on the road all the time is constantly meeting new people.
Right.
And not everyone is quite as outgoing and sociable as we are, but also a lot of people are, and kind of out of necessity for just figuring out where things are and what you want to do and go. And you end up making some like really cool, interesting friends.
And I feel like I now have more of an ability to create a deep connection very quickly with somebody and start talking about the stuff that really matters to both of us. And sometimes some of my strongest friendships and connections are formed within like an hour-long period.
Yeah, and I find that a lot also when you meet anyone out there, but also when you meet other travelers and other nomads. It's really cool because you guys end up talking less about like what you do and more about what you're passionate about and the things that you like and what you're both out doing in the world. And it's just really unique, interesting friendships.
Okay, now let's talk about the cons, and maybe we can have a mini disclaimer that I want to say this was a hard list to make for us.
We had a lot of trouble with it.
Because we tend to be very positive people, and every time we would write down a con, I'd be like, but that also lets us do this thing. But I do think it's fun to give a full picture and maybe mention things that we missed or...
Yeah, there are definitely things we missed, and there are definitely things, I'm sure there's other cons that other people would have because we are naturally optimistic and nomadic, but yeah, there are definitely things, and I think you said it best with the first one on the list.
What is the first? Our list is right here, by the way. I'm about to look down at it. Oh, sometimes I just want a home base.
I know, me too. Sometimes I want a nest. I just want to like a one place that's always the same, that's mine, that I can come home to and call my own. And I do miss that.
Exactly. Yeah, actually we've both been missing that more lately and have been talking about like, okay, maybe we want to have a space that's like a home and still be nomads.
Right, which you can of course do, but we don't at this point, so. Another really difficult thing is appointments, doctor's appointments, hair appointments, massage therapist, any of those things that you take for granted are in your hometown that are just easy to make, or you can make the appointment months ahead of time, are sometimes really difficult to do. And sometimes it's hard to find a doctor without a recommendation, or to get in to see a specialist when you don't have a relationship with another doctor in that town.
For sure, and there's ways around this. Like I have, my main doctor is actually somebody that I connect with online, and we do most of our stuff that way. And I just, because we're so healthy, we don't tend to need a lot of doctor's visits and stuff. But there are like certain things, like I want to get my teeth cleaned.
Yeah, exactly, same thing, getting my teeth cleaned. I have an amazing hairdresser back home, and so I try not to go to someone else. And I love to go to her, but then it means sometimes I go a really long time in between appointments. So.
That's another reason I love returning to destinations, because like in Rhode Island and Chiang Mai and Austin, I know where all my favorite massage therapists are, for example.
Yeah, and I have kind of the same thing all over the US because I travel the US and work out of most of the states, is that there are definitely like places I look look forward to going back to because I had an amazing massage there, or I went to an awesome chiropractor or whatever. So, you know, that's the pro side of that con.
Similarly to that is getting things shipped to you. This year, my international debit card, the one I use that doesn't have international fees, thanks for that, expired while I was overseas, and the pain of getting it there to me ended up costing more than just using another debit card that did have fees. So
yeah, stuff like that, and especially like banking stuff is tough because they will usually only ship to your home address, and so then you got to get it shipped to your home address and then shipped out to you, and just always becomes a multi-step process. Or for instance, if you get something shipped to you but then it doesn't arrive before you leave and go to your next destination, which is something. And kind of a sister to that is like when you're getting something repaired.
For sure.
Like I just had to have work done on my MacBook, and in order to have that done, I had to send it out for a week. Well, that's really hard to lose your computer for a week, but even more difficult when you're not going to be in the same town necessarily. And so you have to really like time the way things work and figure out like a way that you can work around your schedule for that, which is doable, but it's just a little bit more of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, the longer we've been doing this, I've recognized that our society is really set up with the assumption that people live in one space. And I think that we've found ways to make it all work, but like the easy default way it's set up is like, what's your home address? And this and that, just things that we don't naturally have.
Another big thing is missing our family. We have a really big, awesome, close-knit, amazing family, and we have 7 nieces and nephews right now, and it's like really hard to be away from them and to miss them growing up and to not be there for every single event that happens.
I really do appreciate the quality of time I get with them, like we were talking about before, and in general, I feel like my relationships with family members have actually strengthened. And we get to like see each other in different parts of the world.
Which is like really amazing. And we have some of our family members will come out and visit us in different parts of the world. And that part's like really, really amazing. But it is a little tough sometimes to not be able to like, you know, see them growing up every single step of the way. But
or you get like an invitation to like this birthday party or this Thanksgiving dinner or this Christmas event. And I'm like, oh, I'll be loving you from afar.
But it's also really awesome that they're kind of growing up knowing that traveling is a way of life and that you can choose to do that if you want. So it's kind of fun to be able to be that role model too. So another big one, and for me especially because I mainly live in hotels, is that I really miss having a kitchen. I do stay in extended stays and I do stay in Airbnbs, but I miss being able to prepare my own food. I don't love to cook all the time, but I do like being able to prepare my own food. And then when you do have a kitchen, a lot of times you don't have the right tools, or you know, it's not well equipped, or you have to buy some of the basic things that you would just naturally have in a kitchen. So I buy like some of those basics over and over again.
A big part of my life is training. Right now I'm training acrobatics and handstands a lot, and having the ideal training spaces. So like gymnastic gyms are amazing, and communities of people that I can play with is really important. And a lot of the places I go to are specifically because they have a great community for that, but also sometimes it's like you want to be training with that person that you were like working on that move with, or have the right spotting block so you can do that handstand drill. Which is
kind of also like another thing, is not always having the props that you want for something like that, or for doing like a certain sport or something. Is sometimes it would be really nice to have those extra things, but not nice enough that you want to carry it all the time.
Relationships are an easy one that we talked about in the pro category, and they can also in a way be something that falls into the con category.
So sometimes if you are trying to make a relationship work and you guys can't always be traveling together all the time, it can be really challenging. And even if you both really love to travel, like for me, I travel for work, so I can't always choose where I'm gonna be, when I'm gonna be, and that does get to be more challenging. I mean, on the upside is that if you find someone that you can make that work with, it makes it really strong, and it's amazing.
I do meet people from all around the world, and so it's fun to get to visit them in different areas and to meet up in different places. And then also sometimes I do notice feeling like, oh, you know, I've gotten to a new place and I wish I just had like that community here already, or that special person with me right now.
That you never really get to be a local any place, and sometimes that's like really fun. Like I'll have it for a week or two here and there where you go to the same restaurant or the same smoothie joint or something over and over again, and then the people recognize you when you come in. But sometimes I think that would be more fun to be able to like be a long-term local someplace.
The last one on our list is more like this dream I've been having lately, is to have a dress-up closet that like I share with a community of people, and we have really fun clothes that we get to play in, and maybe you just want to wear them like once or twice.
It's like akin to having a dress-up box when you're a kid, and how much fun it is just to put those things on, wear them around, and feel different in them. And it's just such a luxury that you can't really afford when you're living out of one bag, but would be so fun to have.
For sure. When we see each other, we always wear each other's clothing and play
Yeah.
around with that. And also, I've been traveling with Connor, and we try to get clothing that like we can both play with.
Yeah.
But
And it's always really exciting to see Brittany because it doubles the size of both of our wardrobes for the time we're together.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Those are our pros and cons of minimalist nomadic living. If you guys want to hear more about our lives, actually we did a really cool interview maybe like a year ago.
Yeah, it's been a while, 2 years I think.
Wow,
Yeah.
about Dani's life. A lot of people are interested in her life as a roadie. So you can check that out, or just check out some of the other videos on the channel we have about living as minimalists and nomads.
And packing videos and
all the good
all
stuff.
that stuff.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I love
Thank
it
you so much.
when we get to do videos together.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
I really like that one. It's such an awkward angle. I'm gonna do the entire video with my arm like this. I think it shows my muscles to the best advantage. Dani Taylor, and I'm here to talk about the fact that Brittany is peeing right now.
Hey you beautiful people, my name's Brittany.
And I'm Dani.
And today we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons.
Cons. Brittany, there are many pros and cons to nomadic living.